Welcome back my YouTube channel Old Car Stories. Today, we take a deep dive into a car that didn't just move on the road, it moved history. We're talking about this car 1966 Pontiac GTO, a true icon of the American muscle car era. For many, this wasn't just a car. It was a symbol of freedom, power, and attitude, all wrapped in steel and chrome. The 1966 model year was a turning point for the GTO. While it had already made a name for itself since its controversial debut in 1964, it was in 1966 that the GTO officially became a standalone model, no longer just an option package on the Pontiac Tempest. This move solidified its identity and let it shine on its own. Visually, the 1966 GTO featured a complete redesign. The most noticeable change was the body style. With its cavia, more aggressive lines, a new Coke bottle shape, and stacked headlights, the GTO looked ready to take on the road, even while standing still. The chrome accents and split grille gave it an unmistakable face. Under the hood, the 1966 GTO came standard with a 389 cubic inch V8 engine. Buyers could choose between a 4-barrel carburetor producing 335 horsepower or a Tri-Power setup with 3 2-barrel carbs, pushing output to a thrilling 360 horsepower. For its time, this was more than just fast, it was revolutionary. This kind of raw power came with choices. Buyers could opt for a 3-speed manual, a 4-speed manual, or a 2-speed automatic transmission. The GTO was all about giving the driver control, and the 4-speed became the transmission of choice for those who wanted to feel every bit of that muscle under the hood. The 66 GTO wasn't just about speed. It came with a revised suspension system that gave it improved handling. Pontiac added front and rear stabilizer bars, which helped make the ride smoother and more responsive, especially for a car of its size and weight. It was muscle with manners. Inside, the cabin was equally impressive. The bucket seats and wood-grain dashboard created a sporty yet refined environment. Drivers could also choose extras like a rally gauge cluster, push-button radio, and air conditioning. Pontiac knew how to make a muscle car feel like a premium ride. Production numbers for the 1966 GTO were strong. Over 96,000 units rolled off the assembly line. That included coupes, hardtops, and convertibles. It was clear that the American public had fallen in love with the GTO. It was affordable, it was fast, and it had undeniable street presence. Culturally, the GTO became a symbol of youthful rebellion. At a time when the American car market was dominated by large sedans and family cars, the GTO brought something different, something that appealed to a younger generation. It wasn't just transportation, it was a lifestyle choice. Many credit the GTO with launching the muscle car era. Though other fast cars existed before it, the GTO was the first to package performance in such an accessible, aggressive form. It gave birth to an entire segment of American cars that valued speed, sound, and style above all. The nickname GOAT came from enthusiasts who loved the car's rugged performance and no-nonsense appeal. Whether on the drag strip or cruising through town, the GTO had an aura that made people stop and take notice. It wasn't the fastest car in history, but it sure felt like it when you were behind the wheel. Classic car collectors today still chase after the 1966 GTO. Original Tri-Power models in good condition can fetch high prices at auctions. But for many, it's not about the money. It's about owning a piece of a time when American engineering and attitude came together so perfectly. One notable feature from 1966 was the optional hearse shifter. This simple component became legendary, giving the driver precise control and a racing feel. It's just one example of how even the smallest details were geared toward driving enjoyment. Another interesting detail is the rear taillight design. Pontiac introduced louvered taillights for the 1966 GTO, a styling touch that made the rear end as memorable as the front. It's those small design cues that help the GTO stand out even today. Insurance companies at the time weren't thrilled about the rise of muscle cars like the GTO. In fact, part of the reason for Pontiac's original Gran Turismo Omologato naming strategy was to make the car sound more refined than it really was. A clever way to skirt attention, Pontiac's marketing in 1966 was bold. Ads emphasized power, excitement, and confidence. Taglines like "The Great One" helped build a legend around the GTO. It wasn't just about selling a car. It was about selling an image, and it worked. Over the decades, the GTO has remained a favorite in movies, TV shows, and music. It's appeared in everything from action films to classic rock lyrics. The 1966 model, in particular, with its sleek lines and powerful stance, continues to be one of the most beloved. Today, owning a 1966 Pontiac GTO is like holding a piece of American history. It represents a golden era of car culture, when the roads were open, the engines were loud, and driving was more than just getting from point A to B. It was something you felt in your chest. Thank you for joining us on this ride through time. If you enjoyed learning about the legendary 1966 Pontiac GTO, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more old car stories. Because every car has a story, and some, like the GTO, are simply unforgettable.